Okay.
Let's go.
Hello everyone. Have you ever wondered what one gets to study when you take computational engineering as your master's course? In today's episode, I have with me Prashanth Kamath, who is currently pursuing masters in computational engineering from FAU Erlangen. So, in today's episode, let us get to know about the course content, course structure from Prashanth. Hi Prashant, welcome to the 8th episode of Course Review with Kamath. Looking forward to getting to know about the course in detail from you.
Hi, Kiran. So nice to be here. It's been a long time since I've known you. Yeah, quite excited to be here and talk about my own university and my experience. First of all, I am a mechanical engineer. am from Mangalore, Karnataka. Yeah, I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering from St. Joseph Engineering College, Mangalore from 2012 to 2016. And thereafter, I joined National Aerospace Laboratories and worked there for 2 years as a project assistant. Thereafter, I found another job in Scheffler India, Hosur. I worked there for around 1.5 years. Both the places I was working as a mechanical design engineer,
Mm-hmm.
and then I wanted to go into thermo and fluid dynamics, which was more suitable for me. I was
Mm-hmm.
more interested towards fluid dynamics and simulations, and that's when I decided that I have the necessary experience in the industry, and then I have an inclination towards doing some academic work, and that's the reason I chose Germany.
How exactly did you land up at FAU Erlangen and this particular course? Did you also apply for some other universities, similar courses? What exactly was your thought process and thinking behind it?
Yeah, Germany, because of course the tuition fees and all that, and then of course as a mechanical engineer, it's considered a mecca for mechanical engineers. And then coming to your question now, instead of beating around the bush. um, yeah, so I applied to Braunschweig,
Mm-hmm.
TU Braunschweig, and then Freie Universität Berlin.
Okay.
Then I guess RUB, Ruhr University Bochum,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
FAU, and I guess I can't. I think, yeah, I think that was all, because these were the places where I could actually find computational engineering courses or related courses. Um, also I was in time for that, because I think Stuttgart University has that commerce
Commerce.
course, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Yeah, I was first of all, I was not interested in material sciences. Second of all, I was too late to apply for that as well.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, except for University Bochum, all the others I got the acceptance, and I was very particular about FAU, because I remember, as a fluid dynamics enthusiast, I used to refer to Professor Suman Chakraborty's video from IIT Kharagpur, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
IIT Kharagpur. Yeah, through YouTube. And then while researching for FAU, I found that he was a guest lecturer here, guest professor
Uh-huh.
department, and yeah, it was kind of like, I mean, he's been here, so why not me? Right.
Okay.
So yeah, a sense of familiarity. Um, yeah, so that's why I was quite excited about FAU, and yeah, TU Braunschweig also needed at least A2 level of German certification. And if you're studying German in back in India, it's A2 is not enough, to especially to attend lectures. It's just not enough. I mean, I think you can attest to that fact.
One question here. Did you have lectures in German? Any subjects or any courses in German?
Yes, there are a couple of courses which are offered in German, but yeah, you can actually go to the very first class and request the professor if the content is available in English.
Uh-huh.
If they're willing to, then the exam and the course content would be available in English. Also, in most of the cases, more often than not, you'll find similar courses. In
offered in India.
English. Yeah. For example, there was a course called, I guess, Angewandte Thermodynamic,
Uh-huh.
motor Betrieb or something like that. So it's basically applied thermodynamics for motors and such. I think it was aimed towards automotive engineering.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but when I spoke to the professor, he said there's another course which is called pumps and turbines, which is available.
Mm-hmm.
So you could choose that. And yeah, I explored that as well. But then at the time, the course wasn't that course could not be integrated into computational engineering. I mean, I could study, I could give the exam, but then the credits wouldn't be counted in computational engineering.
Okay. Perfect. That's great. So, coming to the main question, that is how exactly your course structured and the course content. As far as I see online, it is a 120 credits course. That means a minimum of 2 years, and
Yes.
out of which 30 credits is for the thesis. Could you explain a bit more about the course structure and the content itself?
All right. So since I'll just go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I'll work my way back to the front. All right. So out of 120 credits, you can leave 30 credits out for theses
Mm-hmm.
and 5 credits mandatory. That's for seminar. All right. And then you're left with 85 credits.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that, uh, you have to do 20 in computer science domain. Any subjects from 20 computer science, 20 credits minimum.
Okay.
Then 20 credits from math domain.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those, functional analysis, a subject called functional analysis, and another subject called optimization for engineers are compulsory.
Mm-hmm.
They are the conditionals, and yeah, I mean, eh, these two subjects, no matter which elective you take, which I'll get to
Yeah.
in a moment, no matter which elective you take, you have to pass these two exams so as to obtain your degree.
Okay.
Then comes 20 ECTS of um, um, subject electives,
Mm-hmm.
and these electives are called specifically called technical application field or TAF.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, if you go online, you can see roughly what around 9, 10 based on your interest. You can select any one of them, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then finish 20 ECTS in that. Then the remainder, the balance 25 ECTS, you can cover it with any subjects, like any sort of content. So you can take additional math modules, you can take computer science modules, or you can take uh, any other TAF subjects from any other TAF to bridge that gap. And yeah, things are pretty flexible here. So in that regard, it is. I mean, it's nice to have options. It's nice to have a lot of options.
Which was your subject or core as a tap?
Yeah. My TAF was is thermo and fluid dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
We have subjects like numerical methods in thermofluid dynamics 1 and 2. These are pretty intensive courses. You have, of course, the lectures, and then you have some programming exercises, practicals, and then there are there's some programming practicals, and then there are some exercises. You have to finish all of these to get the overall 7.5 ECTS, each of them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this forms the core of thermo and fluid dynamics stuff. Um, then then there are subjects like physics of turbulence and turbulence modeling 1 and 2, and then you have aeroacoustics, you have particle based fluid mechanics, and then pumps and turbines, and then there are some courses which are actually really good, but they are of course offered in German.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if you're fluent with it, then of course you can take it, and of course you can get the credits for it. There's nothing stopping you from doing that,
Okay.
right? So yeah, if you don't have that language barrier problem, there's no need to worry about And I think, yeah, I think I can also speak for solid mechanics and dynamic staff. They also have pretty good subjects like linear continuum mechanics, non-linear continuum mechanics, introduction to FEM, non, and I guess, yeah, I think there's some subjects which also deals with dynamics. I'm not really sure about that, but even uh, the chair is pretty nice. You get a lot of opportunities to work as well as to learn there.
How difficult is this course in general? What is the general feeling among the students who have already opted this course?
Yeah. Yes. So the thing is, actually, this course is very programming intense,
Okay.
very intense in terms of programming. So it's not like if you're a, I mean, in India, it's only now that people are students are learning computer science and programming from the from school,
Mm-hmm.
from the, yeah, from the school academics and stuff. But especially I had I did not have any programming experience until 10th standard, and yeah, only after I reached my 11th and 12th I started with C++. And then in engineering I had absolutely no I absolutely had no experience with any sort of programming language, maybe MATLAB here and there, but it wasn't as much as, it's mostly doing simple mathematics stuff and printing it out, so that was not a big deal. Yeah, maybe some matrices or something. And then once you come here, actually, while applying to this university, have you have a really important checkbox to click, to tick. It's it asks for at least 100,000 hours of programming experience, like in
Oh,
any
okay.
programming language, or everything combined, like Python, C++, whatever and that is overlooked by many students. What usually happens is, from the get go, in the first semester itself, you have intense programming.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Courses.
to the applicants, I suggest that uh, you get very good, at least introduction to good C++ and Python programming. Apart from just printing stuff and all that, just, yeah, maybe go into something more mathematical, because you have a lot of data science courses and it has mostly to do with matrix or matrix vector multiplication and stuff. So yeah, do learn something related to um, mathematical or scientific computing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, nothing intense, of course. Things will be taught, but then it's good to get your hands on before coming here, because this course this uh, this particular course is not to teach you programming. It's not an introduction to computational engineering. It is computational engineering. So when you have um, subjects like, yeah, numerical methods in thermofluid dynamics, let's say, they do expect you to have rudimentary programming skills. And yes, I mean, of course you could build it up, but yeah, that's not the point, because there is so much to study. This course is actually quite math and computer science and intensive. It's not so much of mechanical engineering stuff, because all those things would be actually available and we can just brush up within no time. So in my experience, what I've learned is that most people who were working in, of course, who were mechanical engineers and were working in IT sector, have have it. I can't say easier, but yeah, they
But
tend to have an
advantage.
easier time. Yeah, they're at a significant advantage, uh, considering all the programming skills that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, of course, if during your engineering, if you have a bachelor's, if you have done enough if you've got your hands on your programming, or any sort of
Mm-hmm.
language, that should do it. That's not a problem.
Um, so, in order to summarize this content, it would be helpful if you could give an example wherein you exactly use the knowledge that you study in this particular course.
All right. So far, yeah, as a student, I could just say that
Mm-hmm.
most of the um, assignments and exercise content you get here is pretty application based.
Okay.
It's not like, just go to you do a Google search and
Mm-hmm.
get some results and they just copy paste it on your report or something like that. So let me give you an example. Um, I'll take an example from my own elective, which is
Mm-hmm.
thermo and fluid dynamics. So uh, in the subject which is numerical methods in thermofluid dynamics one, you have to simulate a simple heat transfer model, diffusion model, or yeah, just a convection diffusion model, not even heat transfer, just a convection diffusion model in MATLAB.
Okay.
So how would that work? So you have to take into consider, of course, you have to take into consideration the physics that is involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to implement that in MATLAB, right? So how do you bridge them together? Like, because you know how to do a simple matrix calculation or
Correct.
matrix operations in MATLAB, but then how do you get that abstraction of uh, convection diffusion into this? So through these through the assignment, you'll come to know that. So basically, what you're doing is whatever you used to simulate
Mm-hmm.
through let's say in any simulation software,
Mm-hmm.
answers or whatever, right? You are not just clicking buttons here to get the
Output.
output.
Uh-huh.
At the you know what is happening in the background. You have the physics. You know how to make use of the hardware of the system which
Ah.
you're working on, right? And making use of that, you will write a code which simulates, which brings this physics, which yeah, which through which you can apply this physical phenomenon through your code and get the output.
Okay, so basically, it's like building a software yourself to get the result for a problem statement rather than using the final product to get the
Yes,
output.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
this
yes. So
summarizes.
in this is the simplest way
Yeah.
I could yeah. So most, even like even after once you graduate, and when once you're applying for jobs, you'll be getting such kind of jobs, of course not to design the whole system by yourself, but you'll be mostly involved in the simulation aspect, the background of the simulation itself,
Okay.
like in a very vague and very um and yeah, that's what I'm just explaining it to you in a very vague manner. There are of course a lot of specifics. I cannot bring those right now. I mean, even bringing it on the fly is a bit difficult, and if even if I do that, yeah, it's kind of hard to understand from someone who's not coming from a thermo and fluid dynamics background, or yeah, doesn't have an interest in it. So yeah.
I think this summarizes the whole course itself in a pretty brief manner and clear manner. So, going forward, I have few questions which are not exactly related to the course, but how does your class composition look like? Are there many Indians who select this course, or are there a lot of international students? How is it?
Yeah. So oh, that's a really important, really interesting question, because so far I don't know the number of computational engineering students who had joined in my batch.
Okay.
Frankly,
Okay.
a part of it has to be a part of that has to be attributed to the fact that we joined in November 2020, so most of our classes were online. So
Hmm.
at least for first 2 semesters they were online. Third semester it was more or less hybrid.
Okay.
Due to that, it was just like numbers on the
WebEx.
Zoom call. Yeah. So that's one reason why I still don't know. But yeah, of course there are so many Indians, so it's like, yeah, it's basically, you come here, you find a lot of Indians studying here, and even if you not even FAU actually, even if you roam around the city, Siemens is one of the most predominant industries in Erlangen.
Mm-hmm.
So you find a lot of Indians working here in Siemens, or even in yeah, Adidas or Puma and so on. So yeah, you'll not find any dearth of Indians here. Yeah,
Okay. And what kind of profiles do students get into after finishing this course? Is it more of simulation based work, or how exactly it is?
yeah, it is mostly simulation based work, but most of them, I've observed that most of them are going into data science.
Uh-huh.
So they, of course, do all these things. They choose their task and such, but then, yeah, data science and machine learning is something with a field which is still growing and has lots of potential. So, yeah, there are students who, they are my seniors, who have already branched out, you can say, to data science and machine learning and AI and stuff. So yeah, the trend seems to go towards that side. Yeah. Yeah, even you get a lot of jobs from the computation engineering, core computation engineering, that is simulation as well. Many of them do go for PhDs also.
Coming to the last question of this session, could you give a brief idea on what exactly is the CGPA requirement to get admission into this course? Do you have a idea on this?
Yeah, so okay, CGPA requirement, I'm not exactly sure,
Mm-hmm.
because the college that I had come from, the from my bachelor's, they didn't have a concept of CGPA. They used to give us percentage.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Mine was around, yeah, somewhere around 79 point something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, initially during my search for the universities, I was told that you have to get into public universities, you need to have a percentage above 80%.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, of course, I was dejected, because it was just a matter of a percentage or something.
Correct.
So let's just say I just, if I hadn't made that mistake in one particular exam or two exams or something like that, I would have reached that mark. But anyway, so apparently that's not the truth, because they see your whole profile.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because I've met people here who did not do that well in it. I mean, the score was decent. I'm not saying it was bad or something like that, but yeah, they had published some papers. Their academics was not that good, but they had published the papers, or they had very good job experience. Like they were the experienced professionals, and yeah, even they could get an admit,
Okay.
right?
So
Yeah, so
basic.
it's not about
Mm-hmm.
getting an admit. I mean, getting an admit is not that difficult. The thing is, the course content here is challenging, to say
Okay.
the least. So
Perfect. With that, it brings us to the end of this session. I think this information would help a lot of students or bachelor students or professionals who are looking forward to get into this course, or in particular these domains. um, I would like to thank you very much for taking out your time and coming out and speaking on this series and trying to help students who are in need of this kind of information. Thank you once again, Prashanth, for your time, and
it was nothing but an absolute pleasure to speak with you about all this.
for sure giving our own perspective, or telling us what we experienced in this particular course might help someone or the other who is looking for the information.
Yes.
With that, we come to the end of this session. Thank you all for listening to this session till the end. If you like the video, please like the video, share the content with other students who are looking for similar information, and also subscribe to the channel for more information and more videos from different students of different universities. Thank you, one and all.